As I saw before, the main problem on shock absorber, on twin tube shock absorbers, is when the piston in compression is harder than the bottom valve in compression because it generates a vacuum between the piston and the guide and an oil gap in rebound. This problem is an oil gap in dynamic conditions. We can have an oil gap also in static conditions, so when the shock absorber is not working. This happens because, as I said before, the inner cylinder is completely full of oil, while the chamber should be full of oil more or less within the half. It means that when the shock absorber doesn't move because, for instance, the car is parked during a long time due the communicating vessels, the pressure of the oil, the weight of the oil in the inner cylinder moves the oil down, putting the level of the two cylinders more or less at on the same level. In reality, this never happens, or it happens just little bit, because the guide seals little bit, so it doesn't allow the oil goes too much down. Otherwise, the beginning of the gap stops the column of the oil going down. In any case, in order to avoid this problem that can create a small noise from time to time, has been found some solutions. The solutions that have been found are the following. In some cases, the oil seal has an additional lip that can be under the oil seal or even under the lip sealing the rod. This additional lip, when fitted into the guide, is squeezed, and when squeezed, it closes these slots. Closing these slots, what happens? That the oil can move the lip up and goes into the slot, and then to return into the chamber. But the air or the gas cannot go into the inner cylinder because the lip doesn't allow it to happen. The other solution is very similar, but it works thanks to a piece of rubber located here with the same function. It is sealing the slots. The oil can go in this direction because when the pressure of the oil forces the oil, and the oil opens the rubber and goes down. But the gas or the air cannot open the rubber and go in. Another solution is to add gas into the shock absorber, to add gas with a pressure higher than 1 bar. In this way, if, for instance, here I have 2, 3, 4 bars, the pressure of the gas will oblige the oil to go down and here to go up, and keeping the inner cylinder always full of oil. The fourth way to avoid the static oil gap is to add into the bottom valve this special shim. This is a very light and soft shim, which thickness could be 0.05 millimeters, so just 5 cents. It is a shim without preload. So without preload and being so small, so weak, it doesn't interfere with the damping force of the bottom valve. But at the same time, so with a minimum force it gets open and doesn't influence the damping force of the bottom valve. But at the same time, it avoids the oil escape from the calibrator when the shock absorber is not subjected to any force.